Plaintiff DeMario Ash says after his father died in his arms, he started a program to help men be better fathers. DeMario claims he paid the defendant to rent his venue for an event, but due to the defendant's negligence, he was forced to cancel, so he's suing. Defendant Daryl Mance grew up next door to DeMario, and he claims after his brother was shot and killed, his mother became an alcoholic, and it ultimately led to her death. Daryl insists he owes DeMario nothing.
Start with you.
Yes, growing up on the south side of Chicago, sir, I really went through a lot with my father, and that journey started me down a path of wanting to talk to young men about fatherhood principles. And so throughout my life, had a lot of issues. I saw how his life affected my family and how it affected me. At the age of 19, I was incarcerated. And then when I got out, he and I were able to reconcile, and he actually died in my arms. He had a brain aneurysm 10 years prior, in his 40s, due to drugs and drinking and smoking. He stopped for a few years, but eventually back in like 97, 98, after I was incarcerated, he started back again. And by the time I had gotten out in 01, he had been full-fledged back doing it. And at that time, when that happened to me, I realized how much his life had impacted me. And at that moment, I decided to start talking about fatherhood as a calling. And so the Legacy Project is a company that I speak to young men about legacy principles. Legacy is an acronym. It stands for Lifting Eternal Glory, Artfully Cultivating Youth. And so we talk about fatherhood principles and how to be better men, how to be better role models, especially in the urban community.
Now, how is it operated?
I would do presentations and connect with people, school districts, different people that had a passion for seeing young men do better. And so I connected with a couple of organizations.
You have materials that you give?
Yes, I do have a workbook that I give. It's a class that you can learn in a week, in a month, or a year. So it's different variations of it. And so it's kind of customized to whatever the venue is or where I'm speaking at.
Okay, so get me one so I can make some use of it. Okay?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You know, a lot of times you got people that talk a good game and they don't do anything for the people that they represent. You know, I know a lot of these pastors got jets, got $200,000-$300,000 cars, and don't have a youth program.
Yeah.
Let alone a youth center. Instead of getting that jet, sir, get a youth center. That costs less. So, I applaud you. I want to see yours, all right?
Appreciate it, and I'm honored to be here. Growing up on the south side of Chicago, sir, I really went through a lot with my father, and that journey started me down a path of wanting to talk to young men about fatherhood principles. And so throughout my life, had a lot of issues. I saw how his life affected my family and how it affected me. At the age of 19, I was incarcerated. And then when I got out, he and I were able to reconcile, and he actually died in my arms.
Plaintiff DeMario Ash paid the defendant to rent his venue for an event, but he was forced to cancel due to the defendant's negligence, so he's suing.
Let me hear from you, sir. Give me some background.
A little bit of background about myself. I grew up next door to Mr. DeMario.
You like one of them preachers who don't give no money to the youth. You like them preachers don't have a youth. You're a preacher without a youth program.
That's not true, man.
Huh?
That's not true.
All right, talk to me then. Talk to me.
I just look like this.
Talk to me quick. Go ahead, give me.
But man, I actually hated it came to this, but you know, this is a good friend of mine. That
you grew up here in Chicago,
grew
though?
up in Chicago as well, on the south side of Chicago. But we lost contact because my mama moved around a lot. You know, we got evicted a lot. I went to about 7 grammar schools, man, alone. And finally, we got a little bit of stable and 77th, you know, on the south side of Chicago. And I went to Bogan High School. And my mom was on alcohol real bad because my brother, right after my brother passed, you know, he got shot and killed south side. And she took it real hard, started drinking a lot, and eventually my mom passed from, you know.
How old was your brother?
My brother was only 23 years old. And that took a big effect on the family because that literally was the first person I knew that got shot and killed. I just went to old folks.
Yeah. I can't think of a worse tragedy than having a child killed at such an early age.
Absolutely.
I knew one relative, her child was killed right in front of her on the front lawn.
Wow.
I've done some other things with mothers of gang members I've done around the country. And when I was doing some touring, one woman had lost all 5 of her boys to gunfire. And she just went up to me and grabbed me and crying, Judge. And it was clear that she was severely alcohol and or drug addicted. So these folks just suffer, and they kill the pain with alcohol and drugs. So I feel for you and your family, but it seems like you made it out pretty well.
Yeah, I have 5 kids, and I'm divorced, but I was married 20 years.
Oh, good.
And, but we still good friends and stuff like that. We are not enemies at all.
Now, what gang territory were you guys in? Do you know who that was?
In the south, yeah.
Oh, you don't want to speak on it. All right, let's not. You're right. You know, you know what to do. We ain't gonna speak on it. We're gonna do no name calling. All right, that's right. Keep our name out your mouth.
Right.
Unless you're a part of this, don't speak on this. All right. So glad to hear that you come out in the tough streets and you made it. And what do we have here on the contract for $2,400 you're suing them about?
Yes, sir. As the evidence states, I had rented out Daryl's club. He and I had got back in contact through social media. Because of me speaking, I wanted to actually start expanding my brand and doing like some shows and stuff like that. And I found out he had a club in Indiana. So when we connected, he and I talked, and we eventually, after talking a few times, decided to try to do a venue together.
What were you gonna do? What's your
I had a couple of, I speak, and then I had 6 acts. So I had a couple of singers, a couple of poets,
Okay.
and then I had a couple of dancers too.
Had you done that before?
Not to that magnitude. I had done some smaller things at the church level and at a couple of homes. But that was my first time really stepping out and doing it to that extent. And that's why it was such a devastating thing to me when he forgot about the date.
Tell me what the agreement was.
The agreement was for us to have a show in 2019 for August 17th. We made this agreement and signed this contract as evidence shows in page 3 of July 15, 2019. We both signed it. I gave him $1,600 at that time, and then the following week, I believe the following week I gave him the remaining $800. Yep, the following weekend on the 22nd, I gave him the remaining $800. So I had paid for the venue in full. He had expressed to me that he was giving me a discount because of our friendship, and that I thought it was a nice gesture, and I just wanted to make sure that everything was said and done right. Tried to reach out to him a few times prior to the event, and he finally contacted me in the beginning of August of 2019 to tell me that he would not be back in time to open up the venue. And I expressed to him that I had already sold some tickets. I'd already put it out there, and I waited up until about 2 days prior to the event to see if he would get back in time. He didn't, and I had to cancel it. And so at that point, I gave it a little bit of time for him to get back in town. And I told him, I want my money.
What did you all discuss, and what did he say?
Well, basically, he said that because he gave me such a deal, that what he would be willing to do was to give me another date. He said, I don't give refunds, but I'll give you another date. I gave you a nice deal. I'll even extend it or something.
How much notice did you get regarding the cancellation?
Probably about 5 days, I think, if memory serves me.
And when was the contract signed?
It was signed in July of 2019.
July 15.
2019, yes, sir.
And the event was to be August 19.
Yes, sir. August 17.
And you got notice.
About August, probably
17. You're way into the preparation and the payments and the deposits
and all that.
Everything, everybody's time.
Yeah.
And so, what did you say to a new date?
I think he knows himself that he's wrong. The dispute is not even about the money. He knows I gave him the money. I think the dispute is he thinks a new date will suffice, and I just don't agree with that. I think he burnt that bridge with me. He's still my friend. I'm not trying to disparage his
You don't
character.
do business with him anymore.
Plaintiff DeMario Ash paid the defendant to rent his venue for an event, but he was forced to cancel due to the defendant's negligence, so he's suing.
Let me hear from you, sir.
Yeah, I just had an emergency. I had to go to Atlanta in an emergency. A family member got, again, some violence with a family member, cousin of mine. And, you know, I wasn't even paying attention to the phone. When I finally saw that he was trying to call me, blah, blah, blah. And so, you know, once we got back and everything, I was trying to explain to him, hoping that he understand, you know, my situation. And just reschedule and you know, I even help him with the event, help him promote it, help him get the people back out, and you know.
How much money did you lose?
Well, as far as you know, the rental of the club and the staff and things like that, no one got paid because no one came to work that day.
Right, so you didn't lose any money.
Yeah.
You did not, right?
Yeah, no.
Okay, he's the only one that lost money.
Yeah, he's the only
Because
one.
you confused the dates.
Yes.
Okay, so what you think? He said he wanted his money back. What do you think of that?
Well, because
What's your defense?
In my defense, I do have a, you know, no refund policy as far as business go, and then as the friendship goes, I feel like he could make another date because he should understand about my emergency.
Okay, this is business. A no refund policy, it sounds like you're saying if you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, if somebody give you 100% of their money to book your joint 2 months ahead of time for August 19, and you wake up the morning of August 19,
Grumpy.
and you have a Mathis mood swing. So he decided his mind. Well, I don't think I'm gonna go down there. I don't think I'm gonna open that thing up. Why, Daryl? I ain't like the way he talked to me the other day. Nah, that was disrespectful. He called me this morning to reconfirm. If I told him I'm gonna do it, why did he have to reconfirm? Right. Nah, that's disrespectful. He ain't doing it now. No.
Yeah.
You got my point, sir.
Yeah.
At what point does your no refund policy kick in based on your actions? Because no refund is typically when someone says, can I have my money back because of something they cannot do, don't want to do, they cancel for something they cancel. Mm-hmm. In this case, you cancel. You can't take a person's money and then say, cancel. Next day, day or two later. I got somebody else want to book it on that day, so I'm gonna have to cancel you out. Okay, well, just give me my money back. Nope, no refund policy. That's a good game. You can keep calling. You can keep calling. You can book it. You can book multiple people on multiple dates, and on every time you can just call them and say you changed mine. Yeah. They go by that night. They see the joint packed out, thousands hanging all outside the door. They call you and say, well, can I get my money back for last night that you canceled on me? I drove by there and saw thousands of people hanging around. No refund, no. Come on, sir. You gotta be within, you gotta think reasonably on that. You don't want to quote the business first, but friendship, even if you are a friend, then you didn't incur any expenses. See, that's why I asked you that. Right. What did you lose? Who did you have to pay? Mm-hmm. Nobody. So you got a fresh $2,400 in your pocket from your man, and he gets nothing. And you don't pay anything with that $2,400. That's just fresh money for the strip club. You know.
I like strip club.
Magic got that money down in Atlanta. Let me call Magic and see if Mance was down there throwing it up. Was down there at Magic City. He was down there making it rain on your $2,400. Your $2,400 is still in Atlanta. In the air. I don't know if it came. He had so much money. We don't know if it all came down yet. You terrible, man. Don't do this to you, man. Pay him his $2,400. Have a good day. Judgment from the plaintiff.
And now a special throwback update as the defendant is back in Judge Mathis's courtroom. Plaintiff Darrell Mance Sr. says the defendant is his son, and although he's a good kid, he's extremely hard-headed and always wants to do things his way. Darrell is suing his son for the balance due on 2 loans. Defendant Darrell Mance Jr. says he and his father have had their fair share of ups and downs, but overall, they have a good relationship.
All right, and sir, you're suing your son for $2,875 for the balance due on 2 loans.
Yes.
Start with you.
Judge, Your Honor, I was on your show like 2 years ago, and you helped me resolve a problem with me and my friend, and I thought to come back to your show to resolve the problem I'm having with my son.
Well, you know I specialize in sons, so.
Yeah, and then I love your fatherhood as well.
Yeah.
So I like to, let you know a little bit about about me and my son. I was married to his mom up until the time when I left the house when he was 10 years old, but I always came by and had dinner with them. Me and her mom,
She let you in to have dinner?
Yeah. We still real cool.
All right.
Yeah. We got a real good relationship, and he's the second out of 5 kids. So.
All right. Of the 2 of you and your ex-wife had 5 children together.
Yes, sir. Well, we had 4, and 1 came along some kind of crazy way.
All right.
Yeah. So growing up, he had his issues with wanting to mature and wanting to learn things the hard way. And
did you see any rebellion as a result of the separation, or can you attribute anything, or have you analyzed it?
I want to say yes and no. He said that they was okay with it because I was so present in their life all the time. I mean, we tried to not let that affect them to the best of our ability.
All right. And if they didn't see a lot of hurt, perhaps if mama was able to keep the hurt out of there,
right?
Nobody wants to see mama in pain.
Absolutely.
So that's the one thing. Listening to what you're saying, I could see as a vulnerable point. Mama in there crying, and that dirty son of a gun dad got that young girl.
No.
I know you like that.
Not quite. But hey.
No. I just like to say stuff that is amusing.
Defendant Darrell Mance Jr. is being sued by his father, who claims Darrell is extremely hard-headed and always wants to do things his way.
So, he grew up pretty much, however, not delinquent, not, kicked out of school frequently at all.
Pretty good kid. He just had to learn. He wanted to do things his way, as kids want to, and learn the lesson. I try to lead and guide them and try to learn from some of my mistakes, but, they get hard-headed and they want to do it their way.
I need you to work with me then. My wife like that.
Oh.
Hard-headed, want to do things her way. You like my wife? You like her? That's what it sounds like. So how was his grades?
His grades was up and down. He sometimes when they was moving around a lot once we separated, and he was always the new kid in the school, and moving in and out of town.
Respectful to you and his mother?
Yes, respect for the most part. We had our challenges.
Young man, let me hear from you. Give me some background on yourself.
Okay, so I grew up in Chicago. Me and my dad, we had a good relationship. We had never had no issues. We had ups and downs, like he said. But, everybody has their issues. So me and him, we just went through a lot of stuff. So he supports me. Like, I rap, I do a lot of rapping.
Since when?
Since I was 17. About 17, 16.
Okay. Do you work?
Yeah, I do work.
You still work and provide for yourself
Yes, I do.
while you're working on your career?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I work. I used to work at Walmart, but don't work there no more
Why?
because didn't show up. Like,
You didn't show up to work?
yeah, like,
Why?
well, I was moving around a lot.
Why? Oh, you mean residences?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you couldn't take the bus back to work. That's what you mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I
The
ain't
bus-
really have a
what-
car. I
What
ain't
city you in?
Gary, Indiana.
They don't have a bus from where you moved to back to work?
No, they do not.
Okay. All right. All right. And what else you want me to know? I'm just how did you keep working on your rap career once you moved? How do you get to the studio or wherever you go to work on your rap career if the buses aren't there and you don't you didn't have transportation to go to work? How did you get to your rap career?
Well, I did all that by myself. Like, I had a computer. I know how to produce my own music, so I can do everything from home.
Okay, so you haven't gone to anyone else to work with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You have not.
Yeah, I didn't.
Okay, good. All right, well, not good. It's just clarification. All right, and what type of career do you look to have?
To be my own boss, like, to basically everybody else want to be a millionaire, like, be rich, but you know it takes a grind and a certain mindset to do it, and I feel like I have it. It's just I gotta apply it.
How old are you?
23,
And you graduated at what, 17, 18?
2017. Yep.
And so what have you been doing since then
Working.
to advance to become a millionaire?
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking, how have you prepared yourself to make the millions that you intend to make?
Just hustling, like,
I said prepare.
prepare.
Prepare meaning you've made a step toward making these millions of dollars.
That's what I do. Hustle, like
doing what you currently do is going to get you $1 million? It's going to make you a multimillionaire?
It could.
Defendant Daryl Mance Jr. is being sued by his father, who claims Daryl is extremely hard-headed and always wants to do things his way.
What is it that you currently do that could make you a multimillionaire?
I sell
Sell what?
phones.
Okay.
I
And you think what? You can outsell Verizon, Steve Jobs. Who are you going to beat? Who are you going to knock off? Selling phones, if that's what you intend to get rich selling phones.
I go around and make deliveries too.
Okay. And what part of that is going to get you rich? How do you turn that into a millionaire?
I just keep hustling, like,
And
if
saving every dime?
not saving. Like, it's damn impossible to save nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
But
So you're going to work up on enough customers or enough?
the best of my ability, like, to save as best as I can, really.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm trying to let him make sense of himself, of the things that he says. This is what I do to young people when I go to school and they all have fantastic dreams they've been working on for 5 years and no regular dream. I want to see how you're going to make that fantastic dream happen, how you're going to become a multimillionaire. So far, all I've heard is competing with Verizon, as you do right now, and competing with Amazon. So is that your plan?
I want to do rapping, like, again, but I kind of take a step back towards that.
Okay, so now what are you doing to get those multi-millions you say you want?
Hustling, like.
Okay, yeah. Do a little more reading and get a little better understanding of how business operates and how to accumulate wealth, because what you just said is not going to work. That's just my suggestion. You know, and I'm tough love. I hope you don't mind me saying I ain't going to just talk sweet to him. You say you're going to be a multimillionaire off selling phones and delivering. That's your plan right now.
Okay, but
I've asked you over and over, how? What I do now?
Hustling, then it can happen. If I keep hustling, it can happen.
No, nothing like that just happens. You have to work towards something specific. You can look down, you can look around, you can do all of that. I don't care nothing about that. I care about you not getting killed. That's what I care about, because you're hanging around with a crowd, that rap crew. Well, no, thank God you're staying at home and you don't have no bus to get you to that real rap crew in Gary. Because I know they'll rob you every day, even if you don't have anything. Right. I got your persona. I got who you are.
I wouldn't get robbed.
Well, you would. You would get robbed every day in my neighborhood. What are you looking over there for? I'm talking to you. Who you think you disrespecting? Judgment for the plaintiff.